And
there you go. Good morning. Welcome into the Ron Ross Radio Show podcast for when is this? Tuesday. We're at May 20th already. May 20th. May 20th. We've already passed the midway point of May. That's just crazy to me.
It's insane.
Well, they do say time speeds up. Remember, John, we've got more years behind us than we do in front of us.
Thanks for reminding me, pal.
You're the one who keeps reminding me, dude.
I do? Okay.
You have.
Okay. All right. Just not this time.
No, but that, so obviously we make the most out of everything. That, anyway, May 20th. I'll get to that point in just a second because, me, squirrel.
What?
Exactly.
Okay. All right.
The subtitle of this podcast, Ron Ross Radio Show podcast. How you doing? I'm Ron. That guy over there, Mr. Everything, John Yaglinski, joining us and making all things possible. So
it's me.
Thanks for hanging with us. Last week we didn't have a podcast because we had some work things going on. Happens. Well, it interferes with your regular life, and it interferes with your life. You gotta work so you can live. You don't want to live to work.
You wanna work to live. Right. Yeah. I've heard that on like a TV commercial or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Trying to think.
Nobody ever said at the end of their life, gosh, I wish I had spent more time at work.
Well,
Nobody's ever done that.
Maybe there are a few people. Like,
got to find a balance.
Clark and Ryan Seacrest. And
well, maybe, but they had a great job.
Maybe this wonderful. I don't know. Could be. There could be a few people.
But thank you for hanging with us and for watching us maybe later on our YouTube channel or on our Facebook. Sure. And also I will post this later on our Twitter or X or whatever it is. It's Ron Ross Radio. Ron Ross, or is it Radio Ron Ross? I forget which one it is. I think it's Radio Ron Ross. It's one of those. It's one of those if you want to follow me. And that's where I'll be posting.
One of those.
I have two.
It would have been helpful, like, to name them all the same thing. But
I got the Radio Ron Ross at first when I first got on Twitter back when Twitter was invented, and then when we put together this thing, Ron Ross Radio was Radio Ron Ross was my personal Facebook. So when I put my professional Facebook up, I just flipped it, so it was Ron Ross Radio. So.
And confused everyone in the process.
Good times.
Much, Ron.
Good times, great oldies. Exactly. That's me. Welcome to it.
Right.
But thank you so much for if you're watching us. And John has reminded me that we don't get a lot of live, but we do get a lot of eyes on it afterwards. So thank you so much for watching.
And apparently our live counter is not working this morning because someone checked in, but yet I don't see anybody. Actually,
nobody's watching.
It's one of the, I don't technology. Like they've upgraded the platform, and I think they broke some stuff. So anyway,
which is entirely possible.
We got a good reason from.
I don't want to take it for granted because the technology is the technology. I don't know why it is, and if you go back and watch like the past 10 podcasts, and in the first 5 minutes, I always have to clean my glasses. I never think to clean them before I go on the air. Oh, this is did I show you this? I showed you this, didn't I?
I know I've seen that, but it's like, why every time are you?
Because I can't see anything, because I don't think about it until I'm trying to look at you on my computer and I realize, oh my gosh, I can't see. It's like I ate salad off of it. And I mean, it's just so much debris, which I don't understand because I don't get up in the morning, take my glasses out of the case. I put them in the case at night. Mm-hmm. And I don't drag it through a jar of Vaseline, but that's what it looks like. And now I have to clean. Okay.
The funny thing is, so I'm
on a podcast.
There we go. I wear contacts, right? So I have glasses too.
Hold on. Time out. What?
What do you
I
mean?
didn't know that.
What do you mean?
I didn't know you wore contacts.
Oh my gosh. I'm blind as a bat. I wore glasses since I was in about, I don't know, 3rd or 4th grade. And then high school switched to contact lenses.
Have I ever seen you with glasses? I may have.
I
had no idea.
You normally wouldn't, like, unless you were at the house really early in the morning or late at night, occasionally when I pop the lenses out.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be. But I have some nice Oakley glasses that I could wear and be, the intelligent guy. But my point being, what I was going to say is every morning I'm sitting watching TV and I end up having to clean my glasses because somehow maybe when I'm putting them away or something, I'm touching the lenses or something. And I end up with fingerprints, smudges, like you said, Vaseline on. I don't know what's going on.
I try my best. I know. I'm telling you, man.
Or some gremlin is coming into my glasses case at night and doing this to me so that every morning I sit there and I have to do the cleaning routine. So I get it.
Glass wearers, share with us your glass wearing stories. If you'd like in the comment section, you can do them on our Facebook and also on
more enthralling topic coming next on the Ron Ross Radio Show podcast.
Everybody wears glasses. Everybody's got issues with glasses. It happens. I'm telling you. For years,
if you're old enough, you're going to wear glasses.
Before I got the prescription glasses, for years I wore readers.
Right.
And then it just got to the point where I remember, I'm trying to remember who the listener was. And I used to do a lot of videos when I was at Sirius XM.
Okay.
And would talk about wearing readers, and it was like, get glasses, go to the eye doctor, get your glasses. And I finally did. And it's like, especially when they were going through and he's like, the optometrist is going through the lenses and he goes, all right, is this clear? Is this clear? Is this clear? And I'm like, yeah. Oh, that's great. And he goes, and the print was like this.
Right.
And I could read it perfectly. I'm like, wow, this is great.
Just to add to that, by the way, I have multifocal contact lenses, so I don't need readers.
How does that work, John? How the hell does that work?
So I think it's gradiated from the center out.
Okay.
So when you look when you're looking down, it's a little more powerful. But bottom line is, I also do what do they call it? A modified monovision or something, I think is what my doctor says, which is they purposefully underpower one of my eyes, my left eye. Is purposefully underpower, and this one's at regular. So this one sees distance, this one sees close up. And your brain just figures it out, man.
That's funky. That's weird. I mean, I have trifocals on, so
don't do this when you're driving then.
Yeah.
I literally, after I first got them, I was like, but doc, like when I'm driving and I close my one eye, it gets a little blurry. He's like, yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, no. It's like, doctor, it hurts when I go like this. Right. Yeah, don't go like that.
That's the joke I thought of. My arm hurts when I go like this, so don't do that. So don't. Okay. Good. Right. Problem solved.
That's awesome.
And he knew he was making that joke too, which was the funnier part.
So now I have these. Although I noticed when I was at band practice on Sunday, and I play bass in this band. Yeah. And I took my glasses off, and then I had to read lyrics, and I'm like, oh, hang on. My glasses. Then I had to scroll on my phone.
Sad.
Oh,
hey,
man.
Jennifer checking in saying, are we talking about how blind we all are? Yes.
Well, Jennifer, I don't see you with any glasses in your. It was Jennifer Scone, our friend. Our lone and one and only friend in California. You represent the entire state of California.
Was she?
I just want to thank you so much. There's Sandy
says,
multifocal contacts for the win. They changed my life. How do they work? That is freaking me out. I don't get that. You're still looking through the same pupil. You know?
She says she has no idea how they work either.
Good. Right.
So it's good. And Jennifer says she has glasses.
She's got glasses. Okay. See, there you go. See, John, it was a hot topic.
Right. Apparently it is. I guess it's our demographic.
I guess. I mean, now here's the weird thing, and I'm surprised you haven't gotten LASIK surgery.
That scares me.
Right. I understand.
I don't want lasers in my eye.
Lasers.
Yeah, I'm not You know what? The lenses work fine. I'm
now,
okay.
as I am,
they don't bother me.
I am surprised.
Okay.
But that's good. I don't know if they can do multifocal.
I'm a chicken?
Huh? You're not chicken. You have concerns. Look, you get LASIK surgery when I drive over the Bay Bridge.
I'll drive you over the Bay Bridge.
Ain't gonna happen.
You don't have to get.
You drive me over the Bay Bridge going to your LASIK surgery. Okay. So
exactly. No thanks.
Squirrel. My dad. I've known him
your entire life.
My entire life.
Yeah.
But he's had glasses my entire life, and then I want to say like 5-6 years ago, he got LASIK surgery in one eye. And because he had cataracts and he had cataract surgery, and then they just corrected his vision, and he's driving home. I had to pick him up, and they only did one eye at a time. They didn't do both. I don't know why. But he's driving home and he's just going, wow. That's all he did the whole ride home. He's just reading road signs. Wow, that says men working. Well, yeah, well, Dad, that's wow. My impression of my father after LASIK surgery.
Yeah.
Wow.
Kind of like after you get a new prescription or something. Although, quite frankly, again. Oh, sorry. Got the
tell him I said hi.
The answering machine going here. Okay. Anyway, no, the point I was trying to make is that my eyes haven't changed for like the last 3 or 4 years now. Things have leveled out, which is strange, So
that's awesome.
It's good though, right?
Yeah, we got to go back and get Grace's wife ever needs new glasses. I've looked at hers because we had the coating, and then you have the all of the things. There's like 7 things you can get on your
coating, the extra this, the extra
blue light, something, whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
And ultraviolet protection. These are also, I don't know, what are they? They turn into sunglasses.
You get the factory paint protection too.
I did for the undercarriage.
The undercoating.
Right.
It's just like
I got all the things.
Add on. Just include it. I just want to go to a place where it's one price. You just pick from the list what you need, one price.
We went to go get it when we finally went to go get our glasses. Greatest wife ever now. We went, our daughter, the elder, was working at an eye doctor.
Yeah.
And so she's like, come on in. And she goes, your insurance covers it. We're like, great, let's go. So we went in, got the eye exam, blah, 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 picked out our frames, glasses. We go to pick them up. And they're like, all right, so your insurance covered this, that, and the other thing. So $800 per glasses. How is that?
Wait, how did the insurance cover everything?
Because they were $1,600 glasses. It covered half.
Then it didn't cover everything.
Well, I mean, right. It didn't cover everything. Right. It covered half, which is pretty good. And then you go, wait, what? How much?
But then you have to think about okay, well, how much do I pay out every year in insurance? So
I don't want to get into the insurance.
You don't want to get into the math thing.
I don't want to get into the insurance discussion right now because it's that and my cardiologist my anyway, urologist and all of the.
Yeah, no, I get it. And Kroger just discontinued their pharmacy program, which now I have to go re-shop all my drugs again.
Oh no! Oh, you know what happened too is I had to go. I went to the dentist.
OPP.
And I went to the dentist, and no cavities. I'm so excited about that. I do the every 6 months. Yeah, I know. I'm excited about it.
Good for you.
Hey, there's Debbie. There's our friend Debbie. Yay, Debbie. She was just down in your neck of the woods, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was. They stopped by and said hi. We went out for dinner. It was lovely.
That's fantastic. Debbie's a old. I almost said old high school friend. Long time. I've switched out old for long time.
Another good move.
Yeah.
That's very
long time high school friend. I've known her since I'm going to say since she was 14, 15. I think. And because she was running around in the same circles as your wife.
Correct.
And I did not go and my wife. So my wife and John's wife and Debbie all went to the same high school. I did not go to that high school. I went to St. Joseph's, But I worked at a restaurant where all those kids from Linganore High School, where they all worked. So I had kids from Linganore, from Frederick High, and all that stuff. So anyway, I knew a bunch of the kids, and I hadn't met the greatest wife ever yet. And I knew all of the kids. So when I finally did meet her, we had a lot of people in common, a lot of friends in common. But I knew Debbie from meeting John's wife because John's wife lived in the same neighborhood as one of the girls I went to high school with at St. Joe's. She lived in that same neighborhood, and there you go. All right,
very confusing.
Yeah, write that down. So we'll have a little family tree.
Oh, there'll be a quiz
of how everybody knows everybody. Anyway,
yes. So
the teeth. So
the teeth,
and I just did this story a couple of weeks ago on Frederick's Key 103 with the Most Music While You Work and the Dina Carroll Morning Show and the Ron Ross Ride Home. So it is now you have to take care of your teeth because it can contribute to heart disease.
That's what I've heard.
Right. The plaque and all of that stuff. And also there's
all that coming.
There's bacteria.
Right.
Now, the bacteria, especially if you have like gum disease, gingivitis, and all that stuff, it can really adversely affect your heart. And then if it gets into the bloodstream and so on. And one of the things is when you go to the dentist is when you get a cleaning, that can also release, it's cleaning off the bacteria. It can release it into the bloodstream and get to the heart and cause all kinds of nasty things. So they give you antibiotics now before. And since I am...
Wait. Everyone? Because I know my wife used to have to do this because she had like a mitral valve or something, some deal where that it could be an issue.
Well, if you have a heart issue, see, I have a heart issue.
Yes. Okay. Now it's making sense.
But now it's getting back to the prescription thing because I had to
be no cost.
I had to call them and say, hey, can I have an antibiotic before my visit? And they said, yeah, they called it in. And I went to go pick it up and it was 69 cents.
Right. Yeah, because all those are generic. What did you probably
take? Eight pills of amoxicillin.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
69 cents. And I'm like, okay, why can't we do this with all the drugs? But I'm just saying, when I went to go get that Paxlovid for the greatest wife ever, that was $1,777.
There's a net to you?
No. Then there was $1,000 coupon.
Right. From the manufacturer.
Where that came from. And then $777. And then like half, maybe a little more was covered by insurance. So it was nearly $400 to me.
That's still ridiculous, but
a little high, but still.
Yeah, I mean, but to the point, I think Kroger, they used to have a thing where it was either free or $5 for most everything for up to a 90-day supply. Like for the core sort of drugs, like you mentioned, amoxicillin and all that kind of stuff, blood pressure stuff and things,
like statins, Lipitor, high cholesterol.
Like all those. And for some reason, they just discontinued it. So now I've got to go to my Good RX and my Single Care. Again, this is John's throwing it out to the world. Don't always assume that your insurance company or your prescription people have the cheapest prices. And also don't assume that every drugstore gives you the same deals on things. Yeah.
I download. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
You can't see that. I'm showing my phone.
Good RX and Single Care on there?
I have two of them. I have Good RX and RX Saver.
Oh, RX Saver. Well, I may have to look into that one too.
Oh, it's a good one.
And they're all not the same, by the way.
No, they're not. But yeah.
Anyway, so shop your stuff, much like shopping your car insurance and shopping your home insurance. Every year, this is your friendly reminder from Mr. Everything to go ahead and shop your drugs too. There's three things,
exactly. Yeah,
things that really can save you a lot of money every year: your prescriptions, your car insurance, and your homeowner's insurance. You should be looking at them every single year and shopping them around.
And your doctor. If you're not happy with your doctor or the treatment, we're trying to find it.
The more you know.
The more you know.
Presented by Mr. Everything.
Okay, so And I'm curious because I need to ask you. And there's Bud. Howdy doody, y'all. He just checked in on our Facebook page.
Thanks,
And you can interact with us live as the pod. Did you hear me say that? That was such a DJ. The live.
You can interact with us live.
I'm back to doing a remote broadcast, by the way. The weather is nice, and I was doing a remote broadcast on Thursday at live at 5, and then I did one on Saturday. And
beautiful weekend.
Gosh, I had a lot of fun. I love getting out there in the middle of all that stuff, and just it's great. You know, get to meet people. Yeah. I like seeing people's face when they now I hadn't put on my name tag that said Brian Ross from Q.
You didn't put it on?
They made a lanyard for me.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah, I know, right?
With the lanyard.
Yeah, they made a lanyard for me.
Wow, it's like press pass.
I know, isn't that nice?
That's nice.
But I didn't have it on for some super reason. I don't know why.
Staff or all access, right?
I should say all access, just to see if it works anywhere.
Oh no.
Right. But it's fun to meet people, and then you say, and because 99 times out of 100, and it's not a joke, is I get asked, "Where's Dina? Is Dina Carroll here?" Dina does the morning show, so that's the marquee name that everybody's Dina here. And no, I'm sorry, Dina didn't make it. I'm Ron. I do the afternoon show, and then they go, "I think I've heard you." No, I'm kidding. I'm teasing. Ron, I just love meeting the listeners. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun being out in the middle of everything and doing
fun being recognized, isn't it?
Plus, it's also, well, not so much that. It's like I like putting a face to the radio station, to the listener, because you're just a voice out there or whatever.
No, I get it.
The actual things are spin the wheel, win a prize, and do all that, and give away. And of course, the teenagers, look like they're shell shocked. They don't even look at you, make eye contact. They just don't want to do it. But I love the young parents, and actually of all ages that come up and say, "Oh, they're so pleasant and so fun." I love it so much. I really, really do. That's one of the things I missed at Sirius XM is I didn't get to, you were just
do public appearances because you were
occasionally they came to us, the public, when we had like live studio performances and we had an audience, and it was great to interact with people that way. But then when I finally got back to regular commercial radio and was out doing remote broadcasts from a client or whatever, and the technology is completely, John, this
different.
It's way, way, way different. It used to be an act of Congress to try to get your remote broadcast going in the 90s, 80s, and 90s, when you had a remote broadcast, a microwave transmitter that had a number on it. You had to open with that. When you turned it on, you had to say KMZ 365 blah blah, broadcasting on this frequency, to send to the radio station, blah 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 blah, to do your live remote. But now anymore, it's on my phone. It's on my phone. I have a microphone, plugs into my phone, interfaces with the radio station. Perfect. It's beautiful. Yeah. It's all the equipment I need to carry now. It's wonderful. Anyway, where was I going with this, John? I digress.
Well, you enjoy meeting people, I think.
We were talking about how did I get on the remotes, because the weather's nice and Mother's Day. I wanted to get into Mother's Day. Well, let's go into Mother's Day. So Mother's Day, we had a nice brunch with the greatest wife ever and daughter, the elder, who is also a mom, and to go see my mother as well. And it was just I had a great time. I had a great time for Mother's Day, and because I always like doing things, we used to, when the girls were little, obviously it was breakfast in bed, and we would make breakfast. And then we would always have what's your favorite? I remember one year we had the greatest wife ever's mom over, my mother-in-law and my mom, and I was cooking out. So I bought these big fat ribeyes and lobster tails just for the moms. Everybody else had hamburger. I had a great time. They just grilled these ribeyes off to perfection, made these lobster tails. They had surf and turf. I forget what I made. It was probably mashed potatoes or something. And then everybody else got burgers and hot dogs. because you're not a mom and it's not your day.
You don't get lobster tail.
You don't get lobster tail.
Mm.
And greatest wife ever. So would you like some? No, absolutely not.
No, it's your lobster.
You can hit me on Father's Day.
Yeah.
But then when Father's Day rolls around, I would do the same thing. But again, I did all the cooking.
Okay. You made yourself a lobster tail?
I made myself a lobster tail.
Okay. Well,
we were over at a friend's house. And we always get the big, fat ribeyes. Ribeyes. I had a ribeye on Friday.
Ribeye is the most flavorful steak, they say.
We're at this local Italian restaurant, and Grace I've ever been there with a bunch of friends for happy hour, and I joined them later. And it's an Italian restaurant, and it's not on the menu. They have pasta and pizza. They have a wood-fired oven, and it's a nice place, really nice place, right? And risotto and mushroom ravioli.
Stop.
Then they have the specials, and they break out the specials, and on the special there's a ribeye, there's a T-bone, there was filet, and I'm like, okay, so they don't add it to the menu, but I saw, and I've been there before and had it, and I ordered the ribeye, and they have to walk it out under its own power. It had the bone in chop, it's like this. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll be eating on this for 3 days, and it was fantastic at this. And I had to call for the manager. I did. We were sitting at the bar because I love sitting. The greatest wife ever and I, we love to sit at the bar.
We do that too, by the way.
Yeah, I like sitting at the bar.
Mm-hmm.
And so I said to the bartender, and I had one old fashioned.
Good choice.
Thank you. And it was, and the bartender was right there, and a lot of attention. And so after it was all done, and I couldn't finish it, obviously, I ate like a quarter of it. And, actually, the really great part was the broccoli. I ate all the broccoli. I'm like, this is fantastic. I called the bartender over, and I said, can I speak to the manager? It's a good thing. It's a good thing. She's like, okay, yeah. So the manager comes out, and he's like, oh, Harry, and like, yeah, I can help you. And I was just like
something. Yeah.
I said, I just want to tell you that everything was fantastic. Your kitchen is on point. Your bartender made a great drink. The service was excellent. There was no wait time. I just want, you only want to talk to the manager when something's bad. I want to tell you
it was good.
We've had a wonderful dining experience here. And I just wanted you to know that this steak is the best steak I've had in my town. And he was like, oh, great. Okay, thanks. I'll please let the kitchen crew know. And it always catches them off guard I've done that a couple of times when it's an exceptional, great night. I ask to speak to the manager to give them good news because they never get good news.
It's true.
They only get when somebody wants to complain. And so I just wanted to, hopefully he felt better about it. He still looked harried though. He was like a little wild-eyed, like he didn't understand why.
Squirrely.
Probably in the back of his head, like, well, if everything's great, why did you want to talk to me? Oh, okay. You wanted to talk to me because everything was great. All right, I got it.
Yeah.
But it was a good time.
I think that's a good rule of thumb there. Give more compliments.
Absolutely. I always tell the server
so negative nowadays. It just it like strikes them in the middle of the forehead, like, oh, holy crap, somebody just gave me a compliment.
I make a point when it's good service and it reflects in the tip, but I always tell them, I'm like, good job. Mm-hmm. Good job tonight. You did a good job. And they're like, yeah, you're right. It's like this. I try to give as many compliments as I possibly can.
Yeah.
I was when I walk into the radio station, we have a new person who works at the front desk, Pat. And when I walk in, she's like, oh, there's my guy. There's my smiling guy. And I didn't realize that whenever I walked in, I always had a big old smile on my face. And that's her first impression of me. So now I make a point of coming in. Now it's an entrance because now it's like,
now are you frowny sometimes?
No, absolutely not. No, it's hola, hello, hey, how's it going? It's a great day. It's raining. I know, whatever. I'm trying to make sure that I'm positive because I'm viewed as that. I want to stay viewed as that.
Okay. All right.
I'm trying to be uber positive.
Meanwhile, I'm trying to figure out how I can live as a hermit.
Oh, you gotta tell me what no. Okay. Hang on. John drops a bomb. Now we'll find out what that means.
No, I'm just kidding, because I don't like people.
Oh, you don't like people?
No.
You're not a big people person?
No, I mean, I like who I like, but I don't like people generally.
In the general public?
Yeah, I'm not a real big people guy.
Like, what? Contacts? Not a people guy?
No, look, I like good people. There's just too much nonsense going on out there.
Oh, no, I don't suffer fools either.
Right.
John, I understand.
That's all. I like who I like. And if you're in my inner circle, man, you're in. I love you.
Okay.
I love you.
Right,
I love you, man.
Okay, Robert De Niro.
No, I mean, I didn't mention the circle of trust. De Niro's a doofus. Anyway.
You a pothead fucker.
He's such a turd.
Yeah.
But anyway, the thing is, if you're in my circle, yeah, then I love you. But it takes a lot to get into there. I have high standards. I think that's what I'm trying to say.
I guess. I didn't know you were not you're not a people person?
No, I think I'm generally, and nobody would believe this. I at least used to be certainly slightly shy. Like I really didn't like originally when I was in radio doing public appearances. And for the first 10 years of owning intercot.com, I didn't make me the focus of the website until you told me, literally. And again, Ron and I go back and forth. There have been pivotal moments in our relationship where it's like each of us does something and it affects the other one and it turns us in a different direction. And Ron turned me in a completely different direction at one point and said, hey, that video you did on Facebook, like when you were at that Disney press event.
Yeah.
He goes, you should do more of that. And I was like, maybe I should.
You're going on camera. You're going on camera. You know where to hold your hands. You're not awkward. You keep it rolling. But that's your radio experience coming in. But when to make contact with the camera. And there's a lot of technique to it. And you had it down. You're a natural at it, I think.
No, which is funny. But the point being, I shied away from that for like the first 10 years of the site. Had I done that, by the way, like I really probably would have been big because our site at the time was huge. And that was during the time where I hate the term influencer, but like where personalities and influencers were coming along in YouTube and things like that. And had I done it, it could have been really big. We were big otherwise. We were just big as a website back in the day. Now
are you on TikTok now?
Am I? Sometimes, but I don't do a whole lot of personality.
No, it's the Intercot on TikTok.
Intercot is, yeah.
Okay.
But again, we do we're primarily, our core audience is in Facebook. So it just is because of the demo again. And we're just I have a real life. All these sites have this is their job. This is what they do.
Yeah.
This is how they earn their money. And with me, well, I earn my money by like going to work for the man.
Yeah.
Do I like?
No.
I like the man I work for.
You are the man, Josh.
Okay.
Let me just tell you.
You know what I'm saying. But I work for a company, a corporation, and I love my job. I love what I do, but it's a lot of work. And
I'm going to brain lock with because for all intents and purposes, I've almost abandoned we were talking about Twitter. It's been a long time since I've tweeted anything. Yeah. Now, if I post something on my professional page, I make sure I put it on my Twitter, but I used to be on my Twitter all the time, on my X, whatever, all the time. And, all kinds of posts but now it's tough. My social media game has gone down instead of gone up, which is a shame.
Yeah.
And I'm trying, and then when I'm on Instagram, then it says, then there's Threads. And I'm like, I'm on Threads, but I don't post on Threads. I never post on Threads. And I just
not enough time in the day, Ron. Like if that was your only thing, I think I could be good at it. I'm sure you could be good at it too. If that was your only thing, but I don't have time to make that my only thing. And my only thing, my real job, I mean, I'm fairly high up in my company, so I enjoy doing what I do. I enjoy the creativity. I enjoy the freedom. It's great.
I took a picture this morning of right next to the coffee machine. Um, is and there was a floral knife, a pair of scissors, a wire cutter, a spindle or a ball of twine.
Okay.
And I forget something else. And it was just laying there right next to the spoon that we use, because you mix your
coffee, right?
Coffee, and then you put it down on a paper towel and you put it there for the next person.
Oh, we have a spoon thing. Okay.
Okay. And I just took a picture of it because I'm trying to notice. This is Greatest Wife Ever is now working on she's a retired florist, by the way, just to catch you up on everything.
Yep.
Florist for 20, 25 years, whatever. He's doing her own flower shop, and then and she's won awards and all that stuff. I'm amazed at her creativity. But lately, as in the past, I don't know, 5 years in her retirement, she's actually busier than ever because she works on 3 charities.
Yeah.
And on weddings. There was our daughter's wedding. Obviously, we had to do all the flowers for that. And a friend of ours had their daughter had a wedding, did all the flowers for that, and decorated the whole tent and did all of the things that went into that. Baby showers and bridal showers. And now there's another baby shower that she's been working on. And so my house is full of all, and it's going to be, I don't think they watch. It's going to be all children's books. So it's all children's books. So it went through, and I think maybe you saw that I posted that I rearranged all the books so that they were all together in a group. All the Dr. Seuss books, all the Cat in the Hat, and the Cat in the Hat Comes Back, and all that stuff at a used bookstore, because I used to work at B. Dalton Booksellers back in college. So I saw these, and I'm standing there because we were looking for children's books for this specific thing, but I digress. For this baby shower, so I had to group them all together. Like, I found all the Cat in the Hat books. I'm like, this is not gonna work, and I pulled them all out and I put them all in one section, and then the Cat in the Hat Comes Back. I put them all in another section. Anyway, I just took a picture of it because I posted it because I want to notice the beautiful everyday normal things, because that right there was a little microcosm of kind of what my wife is all about. Floral tools, her creativity, and she's got to have a cup of coffee.
Well, I mean,
got to have a cup of coffee. She's got to have that coffee. Yeah. She taught me that in this relationship. She taught me a few things, but one of them was that birthdays are sacred. Okay, it's your day. The birthday is your day, and also coffee is the elixir of the gods.
And what kind? So I know we've probably mentioned this before, but what do you drink specifically?
Oh, I drink Tim Hortons now. I've decided that's
good.
I've crossed over the boundary into Tim Hortons.
You're
and also our baseline is just Folgers. Folgers Classic Roast is great. It's and then we get the pods.
Years,
huh?
I haven't had that in years.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Dunkin' is kind of our base, like at whole bean Dunkin'. Again, everything has to be whole bean in our household.
Well, I would say Dunkin', and we had Dunkin' from an actual DD
right
earlier in the week, and it was really great. And because they put the cream and the sugar, and I was like, oh, this was so good. It was wonderful.
Right.
But
yeah,
ever since I've had Tim Hortons, it's kind of going.
Timmy's is good. No, I mean,
it's more robust in my opinion. More robust, and but anyway.
But do you get the whole bean?
No, I don't. I get
for Christmas. I'm buying you a grinder.
Okay. Well, we had a grinder, John, and I got rid of the grinder. It was one of those.
You got to do it.
Appliances that were just like.
No, just a little thing. We keep it like right. It's the size of a coffee cup.
I know what it is. I had one. Yes, I'm aware. I mean, we used to do this. We had an espresso machine. I made cappuccino. I did all the things.
Of life, guy, you cannot have pre-ground coffee. You have no idea when that was ground.
Okay, that's fair. It tastes good to me.
No, I'm sure it tastes good. Vacuum sealed and all that.
But back to my point, I'm trying to notice little things, even though my house is a wreck. I mean, it just is. It is.
Don't even. Yeah, you can't see my desk right now.
And things are
cleaning this up,
falling apart. And we're starting to get back outside, but we had a serpent We had a snake in our front yard. One of the reasons why we pulled up all of the bushes in the front yard, because we had all of these low-lying juniper bushes, and then we had these big globe arborvitaes, is because Greatest Wife Ever last year saw a snake sitting in the globe arborvitae. When she pulled up, she couldn't get out of the car. She didn't walk next to it. So there was a snake. We were cleaning things out of the backyard and walking it out of the back patio door, and it was just sitting. It was a black snake. I understand, and it's good. I love the way when you post a picture of a snake, how everybody has to tell you it's fine, don't worry about it. It doesn't make me like the snake. I understand that it's part in the ecosystem. I get it.
Yeah, exactly.
I just don't need to see it. I don't need to look at it. I don't need to know that it's there. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
And I don't like being surprised by it. I mean, anyway, the point is, then it made a reappearance in the front yard, right next to the front stoop, as Greatest Wife Ever was walking outside. She saw it there. And then when she came back inside and she's yelling and screaming that there's a snake, we had these bay windows and there's a tree, and it was in the tree, eye level.
Looking at you.
Looking at me. Well, we found out later, somebody says it was probably looking for birds' eggs to eat because it's that time, it's springtime. Really? And I told Greatest Wife Ever, once the food supply is gone, then the snake won't be there. And she goes, well, what's the food supply? And I'm like, I don't know. What are we gonna be?
Mice.
But we did we put snake away. Anyway, so it was really harrowing for a couple of days because it's really nerve-wracking. We had to leave by the side door. I didn't want to walk by and in the front door. And so
hanging out, right? Just hanging out on your front.
Hanging out in the front door. Well, that's not the time. I think I told you the time that it was. I'm walking by, the front door is open, and we have the storm door, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm walking by the front foyer, and the cat, Margot, the cat is just standing there. And she's just looking out the door. She's about 4 feet off from the door. She's looking, and I'm like, what are you looking at? And it was a black snake. It was the black snake, probably the same one, or its son or mother
snake.
That was it was across the front stoop, and it was raised up and looking inside the door just to see, whoa, what's happening? What's going on? And I'm like, and I closed the front door, and then it moved on. And went over to the neighbors, but anyway.
Well, clearly what you need, Ron, is Ricky Tikki Tavi.
I do.
You need a mongoose. A pet mongoose.
Trick. Yeah. I know. But that was so we're finally getting back outside because I got to clear out the weeds and plant the front lawn.
All good.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I did a lot of work outside, cleaned out the back patio, put up a TV out there on like one of those hanging poles,
beautiful. Nice.
Got a weatherproof cover, put up a new fan, power washed. It was okay. That was the weekend kind of chore, was like reclaiming our back patio, which is a great space, but it had become kind of a place where we had just put a bunch of stuff, and there was
the patio downstairs.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm thinking the deck.
In addition to the deck. Yeah. Like we didn't spend a lot of time, but I wanted to be able to go down there and have a beverage, watch a game, maybe grab a cigar from the humidor and sit out back, or just kind of enjoy the good life.
We were at our friend's house Saturday night. And we're out on their back patio, and they had the fireplace going because it was a little chill.
Yeah.
And so she's drinking bourbon. I was making margaritas. I had a taste for margaritas for some reason. And but he and some other friends, they're all smoking cigars, which is fine. I don't mind them.
Mm-hmm.
Except where I was sitting
was it blowing? Right. Yeah, you need to move. Need to go to a different seat.
And I'm like, yeah, exactly. So instead of me saying, hey, can you blow that someplace else?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's his house.
But I mean, I never have a cigar if somebody doesn't like it. Like,
no. It was unwittingly. He didn't realize. He didn't realize it was heading straight for me. So,
okay.
Given all of that with the snake and all of that, we're going camping this weekend. Yay!
Oh, where the snakes live.
For Mother's Day.
All the time.
Not for Mother's Day. For Memorial Day.
Snakes.
Memorial Day weekend. Now, here's the thing.
Luck to you. Yeah, by the way, holiday weekend. coming up.
Right. Gorgeous weather last weekend. Mother's Day weekend was absolutely gorgeous. Not a cloud in the sky, low humidity, temperatures in the low 80s. And it was just wonderful. Perfect.
We were 90s here.
Now for camping this weekend.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I was just talking to the greatest wife ever this morning.
Really?
Cold front's coming in. Probably not going to get out of the 60s. It's going to be cloudy and threatening rain all 4 days. We're gone. I mean, it's going to be pouring on Thursday when we're supposed to be setting up camp and all of that. So everything's going to be wet and damp, and it's just. And I told the greatest wife ever. I'm like, I'm just going to try to enjoy the break.
This is why
I can't rail against and this comes into the whole trying to be positive and trying to acknowledge, beautiful things, ordinary, beautiful things. And that is, look, we're gonna be able to spend time with our friends. And I'm trying to talk myself into it so I don't get so mad.
It'll be beautiful too. Yeah.
So I don't get so mad that, what are the odds? Well, it's raining, so the odds were 100%. But we're pulling out all the camping stuff, and it's a lot. And we're tent campers. We don't have a camper. And so we got to set up the tent. We set up the camping.
Yeah.
It's a whole thing. And I asked the greatest wife ever, like years ago, what is the appeal for her? For
right.
And she says, we're playing house.
We're playing.
I'm like,
that's actually funny.
I'm like, okay, that's perfect. I get it. Because you're setting up your own little homestead, and you've got your kitchen area, and you've got your sleeping area, and your recreation area, and you set up your whole little domicile in like 2 hours, and then you tear it all down, but you live there for 3 or 4 days, and it's great. I love it.
Oh, nice.
And then the campfire is going to be going in
the
campfire.
I just have never been a camp. We've been through this before, though.
Oh, that's right. John don't camp.
I'm just not a camping guy. I would be a cabin guy if there was a cabin, but I like to have an actual roof over my head.
I'm telling you, it is a lot of work, especially with the tent camp and all the things we set up. We've said over the years we need to simplify, and I finally got to simplify a little bit with the tent, because we had a big cottage tent with 17,000 poles and to lay it all out and all that stuff. And then a tent we were going to give to the daughter of the elder, and I don't know why we didn't. But this one has telescoping poles, and it is up literally in 2 minutes. And that's the kind of tent I can get behind. But it's not as big as the greatest wife ever would like. But I had to try to persevere and just present it as, look, it's a lot less work. Can we please just keep the lot less work tent than the giant cabin tent?
Yeah, I'd be all in for that. It would have to be the less work.
So I don't know how much we're going to be doing outdoorsy things, or going to the lake, or doing any fishing or any of that stuff. I just plan on playing. Sometimes camping, it's just all I can do. I just, you have a big breakfast. Friend of ours brings the big Blackstone griddle. Bam! I think it's
that's nice.
Yeah, it's I love it, and he lets me use it. He sets it up on our camp facility, where our camping pad facility, and and so that's always fun, making a big breakfast, because we do all the things. The greatest wife ever is like, what do you want to make for breakfast? I'm like, what? The shorter list is, what don't I want to make for breakfast? Because we're gonna do French toast and pancakes and eggs. We can do eggs any style. We can do scrambled eggs. I can do omelets. We have fried potatoes and onions, and then we have done cream chip beef. Do you eat cream chip beef, John? Just as
I would.
Yeah,
I would.
I don't think a lot of people. It's not super popular. So greatest wife ever and I think daughter of the younger likes cream chip beef. Other than that, it's kind of a crapshoot with everybody else. So it'll be sausage gravy and all of it. And then
make some crab Benedict. Make some crab Benedict.
Crab Benedict.
Yeah, like a little crab cake on top.
I know what they are. Ooh,
and a little French bread.
Some hollandaise sauce.
And some hollandaise sauce.
That would be good.
Yeah.
John, what are you doing? You're killing me.
So you're killing me with all this food talk, man. I'm like trying to find a way to lose weight right now.
And then, well, there's no diets on camping when we're camping. And we go and we buy all the potato chips that we don't eat throughout the year. We buy them all and we eat them while we're camping. The russet potato chips. Have you seen those? The dark.
The burnt ones, you mean?
Oh, yes. The kettle cooked. They're so good.
Yeah, I know.
So anyway.
All right.
Then all day, you don't really have a lunch. You just kind of snack around. Somebody will bring out a little charcuterie board or whatever, and we play games, and especially if it's like raining or whatever. And then you prep for dinner.
It's all about the food.
It's all about the food. Well, there's nothing. I mean, you could go hiking in the rain. You could go. Nobody's swimming or fishing. So that's what we do.
Okay.
We hang out. And I'm looking forward to it. But let's have for Memorial Day weekend and relax. Oh, we got to get rolling. We have a question of the day, so let's get going. Because now it's time to get the gray matter working, fire off the synapses, engage for the lobe, form new neural networks, utilize the cerebrum. As Pooh says, it's time to think. It's the dun-dun-dun. Question of the day, the QOD for short, playing for pride, not prize. Are you ready? Here's a very, we're coming up on summertime. We're using sunscreen. My goal is to be as completely white as I am now on Labor Day as I am now. That's my goal. I know you're bronze beauty. You live in South Carolina. I got it.
I'm not.
Okay.
Some people are.
What does SPF stand for in your sunscreen? 3 letters.
Yeah.
I had to look it up. I didn't know, but really? maybe you know. SPF.
I have an idea.
You have an idea?
Yeah.
All right. What does SPF stand for? Put your answers down in the comment section. And good luck.
Dude.
I realize I'm watching back the podcast. I always keep facing this way. It's because my computer screen's over here. That's why I'm always looking over there.
Really?
I have the laptop screen, and then I have my.
Yeah, I have 3 screens. So
I know. I've seen your screen.
Here. Actually, 4 if you count my laptop. So 1, 2, 3, 4 main screens ahead, but
it's okay.
It's too much.
John's a little overkill.
5 lights.
What do you think? What do you think of my Goodwill shirt? We went shopping at Goodwill. It's the old people day is on 60 or
all right, Macklemore.
I'm just telling you, on Tuesdays it's 25% off.
Really?
And then, yes.
Okay.
And I just went rolling through all the shirts. I'm like, I want this one, I want this one. And these are like name shirts. And of course, you have to wash them. I didn't know they don't wash them at Goodwill.
Oh, I did not know that either. But I guess it makes sense.
Makes sense, right? But I just
a heck of a laundry operation there.
But I'm really digging this shirt. It's nice and comfortable. It's very summery, I think. I like the color palette. That's why I picked it. And,
I'm trying to pare down my wardrobe right now.
Oh, really?
The t-shirt collection is getting out of hand.
You have a large amount of t-shirts, John.
I do. But I've got dress shirts, too many dress shirts. I got too many polos. I got things I don't wear.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I got to do if it hasn't been out of the closet in 3 or 4 years, then it should go in a bag and go to Goodwill.
3 or 4 years. My cutoff is a year.
Really?
I haven't worn it in a year.
Well, it depends on what it is, but yeah, I think t-shirts are gonna. But then I get attached to some of them.
Dude, you're preaching to the choir. You're preaching to the choir. I understand. I was just putting my t-shirts away after the laundry. I was just putting them away, and I realized I'm like, haven't worn that. Why is it in my drawer?
Correct.
So I grabbed the handful and I pulled them out of the drawer, and I'm looking and I'm like, oh, but I like that one.
I know that I get stuck on that, or that it's like, well, it's a little bit tight. And if I just lost 10 pounds, I would be fine.
Oh, God. I have an entire drawer of jeans
of
that I'm going to wear.
Fat jeans or thin jeans
that I'm going to wear.
I know.
I will wear eventually. It's going to happen, John.
I know. I know.
Power of positive thinking. All right, let's get back to the.
Sorry. Yeah, we're running out of time here. Okay.
Yeah, we are running out of time. All right, here we go. In the QOD question of the day, what does SPF on your sunscreen? What does it stand for? 3 little letters. I had to look it up. What is your answer? Put it in the comment section. What do we got?
Right. We got a couple of them. All right. So Susan came in first with.
Well, there you go. Sun protection factor. There it is.
Yep. And by the way,
there.
Andy shortly after said the same thing.
I had no idea. I really didn't know. Like SPF, is it? I don't know. Because it doesn't have to do with UV rays. But it does have to do. But why? There's no UV in the. Anyway, SPF, sun protection factor, which I understand if it's like anything above like a 30, it doesn't matter. 30 is like the highest you can go. If you get like 80 or whatever, it doesn't. Yeah, that's what I read. Yeah, it's got a little bit of overkill. I'd have to look it up. 30, I could be just speaking completely out.
Essentially, it means if I could be speaking out of turn, is that a 30 means that you can stay out in the sun 30 times longer than you would be able to stay out without protection before you start to burn.
Okay. I really don't know what that means. SPF number tells you how long.
Let's use regular numbers. What do you mean you don't know? If you could stay out with 1 minute without getting burned, then with a 30, you could stay out 30 minutes before you would have to reapply.
Wrong. I'm reading it. The SPF number tells you how long it might take to get a sunburn after applying it versus not wearing any at all. As an example, if you spend 10 minutes in the sunlight without burning, a lotion of SPF 30 will multiply this self-protection time by 30.
That's what I just said.
So it'd be
literally
300 minutes then.
Okay. I said 1 minute. If you could stay out for 1 minute without getting burned, I used simple numbers. Then 30 times that would be 30 minutes. That's exactly what I said.
Okay. I apologize. I was not listening very closely. I'm sorry. I was not listening to that. I was listening to you and I was reading this. All right. But I still love you, John.
I know.
Am I still in the inner circle?
Yeah, you're still in.
Okay, good.
I may have to reevaluate tomorrow. You never know. You never know.
Don't argue with John.
Yeah, no. But yeah, so I actually was correct on what it stood for, which surprised me. Right. That had been what I was told all my life, and sometimes old wives' tales and stuff like that. Maybe not the case.
SPF 15 stops up to 93% UVB rays. 30, 97. Okay. 50, 98, 100, 99.
So it really is not so if you're paying like double for 100, just buy the 50 and put it on a little more often. And you're probably fine.
Yeah, twice as often. Yeah.
Right.
Easy. And I didn't realize this either, is that when you put it on, you're supposed to wait like 15 minutes before you go out and get in the sun. You put it on, you're supposed to wait. Like you do the spray tan, you do the spray sunblock. I literally read it on the can. You're supposed to smooth it in, by the way, with your hand, not just spray and okay, I'm done. You're supposed to smooth it in to make sure that you cover every little bit that you're supposed to cover. And you're supposed to wait 15 minutes or so.
Why?
I don't know.
Does it get subcutaneous at that point?
I have no idea. Probably shouldn't get in the water right afterwards.
I don't even know if I use that word correctly. By the way, I just tried to throw it out there.
Did you say subcutaneous?
Yeah.
I don't know what that means. Okay, let's go with it. It sounds good. I like subcutaneous. I'm not going to disagree with you anymore, ever.
No, I don't know. I like using that word. It made me sound important.
It did. It was good. It was a good term. I like it. All right. Look,
I don't know what that is.
All right, we're gonna bolt. We got to go.
Yeah, we do have to go. I gotta go do work.
Thank you so much for the for listening and following us, and click all the buttons and share with your friends and let them know. Also, this podcast is going to show up on your wherever you listen to your podcast. So that's all
right.
Apple and
that sort of thing.
Where all of the podcasts
someday.
But right, and I'll post this later up on my X that I never go to anyway. So you'll see this as I post it there.
Whatever that account is.
All right, please have a wonderful and great Memorial Day weekend, and be safe and use your sunscreen with the sun protection factor. That 30 means that 300 times.
Or, or baby oil if you want to go back to high school.
Yeah, there you go.
I want to get extra crispy.
Oh my gosh. Oh my God. Stupid. I just remember looking at somebody and I'm like, you realize this is horrible for you, right? And like, what? I'm like, your sun, the tan is your skin saying, please stop.
Yeah, right.
The UV rays. We're trying to stop the cancer-causing rays from getting into our skin. That's what the tan is.
I know. All right, we got to go.
Yeah, we do have to go. All right, have a great Memorial Day weekend, and we thank obviously the United States service persons who gave the ultimate sacrifice for their country. That's what Memorial Day weekend is all about. So when you're out running around and it's the start of summer and we're doing cookouts and let's go to the beach and all that stuff, give yourself a minute to sit and remember what Memorial Day is all about.
Amen.
Please. All right. Have a great weekend. Thank you so much. We will meet you back here next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. John Yaglenski. Please take care of yourselves and each other. Please be safe. John Yaglenski, Ron Ross. Love you, mean it. Bicycle.